Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. The Ultra League Summer Cup is here. I'm going to show you my first battles in this meta, running a team of Lapras, Vizian, and Drampa, the Grandpa. And Lapras is going to be running Ice Beam, mostly for coverage against Vizian, which is going to be really common in this meta. There's also some dragons as well. Vizian, I'm opting for Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade. You can also run Stone Edge, most likely instead of Sacred Sword, for that coverage against fire types. However, Leaf Blade is just a little bit more efficient and offers you the ability to hit something, and Sacred Sword as well is a cheap, efficient attack that can get you super effective against other things for some coverage. And then Drampa, the Grandpa, I am opting for Outrage. Rise, why not Fly? Isn't Fly super helpful against Vizian? Yes, but I had like 11 charge TMs and I used 10 of them and could not get, which is crazy because it's literally Dragon Pulse or Fly, and I got Dragon Pulse Outrage back and forth a bunch of times. Absolutely ridiculous. Change the charge TM system. Niantic, Scopely, whoever you are. And here we go. Lapras into Gastradon. We are going to be fine staying in this matchup. This first battle, forewarning, is a little bit anti-climactic. I know the correct version now. Gastradon staying in, going to allow us to fire off another Sparkling before they fire off an attack, so maybe a little bit of a miscue here. We're going to keep on farming, can definitely afford to take this Earth Power, and they built up so much energy here that they are actually going to reach a second Earth Power already. They went up to 100. Actually, wait a sec. Earth Power is 55. So, yeah, that makes sense. I confused myself for a sec. 100 minus 55, 45 plus 10, 55. Makes sense. And then we're going to see Golisopod come in. And, dude, this first team, incredibly weak to Vizian. And to be fair, there have been times where, like, a new meta has started and I've locked in a team and didn't realize, oh, I'm completely weak to this thing. Golisopod comes in. We're just dishing out Leaf Blades left and right. Leaf Blade, one of the most efficient attacks in the game. Does some really solid damage for only being 35 energy. Only 3 double kicks to every Leaf Blade. So Vizian's a really solid Pokemon. We are going to get rid of this thing. And now we've got our 2-on-1 fast break. Both Vizian has a decent chunk of health as well as the Drampa. And oh, baby. Belly Bolt. Gonna struggle here, bro. Poor Belly. He's not going to appreciate a Leaf Blade. I could have just swapped immediately, but I'm going to force them to throw energy, I guess. Save my shield for Drampa, the Grandpa. And it's Drampa time, baby. They are ABA weak to Vizian. Vizian took out a huge chunk of the team, and Drampa forces the top left. Not today, son. Not today, young fella, says Drampa. He was born in 3000 BC. Just kidding. I don't really know. Is there a specific lore of Drampa? Some of you guys in the comments impress me sometimes with your Pokemon knowledge. I've learned some different lore and stuff. Let me know the lore on Mr. Drampa. Let's see. That's funny. I still have Scraftmeister as the team name. Back from when Scrafty used to be really good. All right, here we go. Next battle, Dunebug. 97. We play some very big names in this video. I probably should have said that at the start. Maybe that would have piqued interest. All right, Lapras into Kingdra. Kingdra is going to threaten an Outrage. And then Dunebug swaps into a Tentacruel. I don't really have a great response here. Tentacruel just kind of outbulks Drampa. So I just stay in with Lapras. I've got so much energy. I'm doing super effective Psy Waves. So, this is interesting for sure. Both of our back Pokemon have play against Kingdra, but it's not like they're hard answers. That energy is going to be tough to deal with. I go for Sparkling, thinking like maybe I could get to 2, but it doesn't look like it, so I probably should have just gone for the harder hitting Ice Beam. And then I snipe with my Drampa. Dragon Breath down. In comes Scizor. Yikes, at this point I thought we were maybe in a little bit of trouble. Drampa going to throw the Swift here. Not messing around, just throwing straight Swift. I know Scizor is quite frail. And we actually win the charge attack priority against the Scizor. That shows you how high attack Drampa is. Night Slash does a lot. Scizor, Fury cutting away. Dunebug throws one turn before me, and I am going to actually shield to get off this Swift. I feel like it's viable to get this off. I might get shields down. Drampa going to throw another Swift. Gets the final shield. I let myself go down just to give myself the catch opportunity if need be. And also not to lock myself into a potential debuff. Because now he knows if he like debuffs me, I can just swap out and clear it. I correctly shield Outrage, which is massive. Massive. Gonna go for Leaf Blade now. And I know Caesar could be running X Scissor, right? So I overfarmed just a little bit. I don't think a switch timer was up there, so there's really not much reason to go for Sacred Sword, but in my head, it's like in case of a catch, but I don't think a switch timer was up anyway. And now the Sacred Sword should knock out the Caesar. Bang. There we go. Caesar was a little bit scary in the back, but we're able to overcome it. And we actually were inspired by Dune running the Caesar. We started running some Caesar of our own later on. So keep on the lookout for that video, because that team was kind of fun to run. Had a nice set or two. Next battle. Waving the legend hat. See if we skip ahead a little bit. Oh man, this was a heck of a queue time. This was a heck of a queue time. Here we go. Here we go, Lancers. Here we go. Anytime now. Any queue time now, please. It's got to be close. I don't want to drag it again. It's tough to drag the little cursor because in footage that's like 18 minutes long, if you drag just a little bit, you might go too far ahead. Chillis, FM. Here we go. Lapras into Vizian. Terrible lead. We swapped Drampa, which is not a smart play. I would have been better off staying in. This was just like a reaction swap. It was my third game or so of this new meta. And I was like, huh. I was in my head, I was in a bad matchup, so I swapped like the dragon, and then I totally like blanked, like, oh wait, I take super effective from the fighting as soon as I swap. So that was not a smart play. At least I get off double Swift here and get a shield advantage. And we're going to come in Lapras here. And I'm going to go for like a massive farm down. I'm going to have to take a lot of damage in the process. First crunch connects. Yeah, I'm just going for a massive Psywave down, hoping that this energy I generate can be useful. They go for another crunch. They get the debuff, unfortunately. I think that might have made those Dragon Breaths do a little bit more. In comes Kingdra. And yeah, we're going to be in a tough spot here. Ice Beam gets the final Protect Shield. So we are up a shield with Vizian. And I go for the Sacred Sword, anticipating a potential catch, and it does only slightly less damage than Leaf Blade. But let's see if that ends up making a difference in this game. If I had just gone for the more efficient Leaf Blade, it does, we looked it up after, it does 6 more damage. 6 more damage, or about like 3.4% more damage. So now we're going for the neutral Sacred Sword against Vizian. Spamming off these swords. Bang. I do make the catch onto Lapras. But the problem here is, as we go for this farm down on Vizian, I am so low. I don't think we're going to have enough health to get to 2 Leaf Blades. I even denied him 1 Dragon Breath here, which might give me an extra double kick. 1, 2. So yeah, the Leaf Blade, was that 3%? 6 damage on the Kingdra? I'm not sure. It's really close. But to be fair, I think the lag also allowed me to get 1 extra double kick. So I think without a doubt, if he doesn't lag a turn there, the double kick with the extra health from the double kick along with that health, there's no way the Leaf Blade would have mattered. But maybe it would have mattered, granted that he lagged a turn for us to get that second double kick. GG's, we would end up having a rematch against him later that I was able to play a little bit better. And here we go, on to the next few battles. This might be, I saw a little sneak peek, this might be the 2 big names. We've already played some big names, don't get me wrong. Pretty much everyone in this video has been like a content creator. Well, I'm spoiling it. I'm spoiling it. Spoiled it. Is that the SpongeBob reference? Soiled it. That's what it was. Dude. I trimmed these queue times too in this footage. I trimmed these queue times. Shout out to H. Shira, Heather. She was doing a duo stream with Homeslice Henry today. Two very cool people. And I get to Ice Beam at 14 turns, so 1 turn shy of the like 5th Mud Slap, right? So I can just throw that immediately. I make a catch onto Vizian. This is a nice catch, but it's also risky, right? What if there's something like a Talonflame in back? This could be setting myself up for failure. I overfarm a little bit. She swaps trying to catch an attack potentially, or just maybe to bank some more energy. I go for Leaf Blade here. A more efficient attack. Gonna go for another one, chipping away at the Tentacruel. Tentacruel running a Poison Sting, generating energy very quickly. And I decide here, because our switch timers are desynced, and I feel like my Vizian might have some solid play, I actually elect to shield it, preserve it, and then I swap into Lapras. And I make a mistake here. She wasn't even at the Sludge Wave quite yet, but my counting was not there. So I shield. That's a pretty bad shield by me. I go for the Sparkling Aria here against this Belly Bolt. We want to make sure we get off this energy right before they throw a Parabolic Charge, so throwing pretty quickly. Sparkling Aria going to connect. We did get debuffed by that Scald, which was unfortunate. And Heather is going to throw Parabolic Charge at us. This should knock out the Lapras, buff the defense of the Belly Bolt. I come in immediately with Drampa while she's still switch locked. Start building up energy, and maybe can get the full farm down here if she doesn't pivot out. But she does pivot out into Toedscruel. Toedscruel going to fire off a big attack. Shields are down. Earth Power connects. And I go for the Swift here. I just barely got to the Swift. And I think she shielded thinking this maybe was a fly. And this is going to open up a potential win condition. I go for Leaf Blade. I was not sure who wins Charge Attack priority here, but I have to go for it. Vizian wins the Charge Attack priority against the Toedscruel. It's pretty bulky, so that makes sense. Go for the Leaf Blade, and now she is pretty much energy dry on both the Belly Bolt and the Tentacruel. So I am going to go up to 3, anticipating the catch. I'm able to just simply double up on Leaf Blade here, knowing that Belly Bolt was dry. And go for a Leaf Blade back-to-back here against Belly and Toedscruel. Nice game there. And it brings us to the final battle of the video. This went really fast. Homeslice Henry, the legend, the GOAT. Probably the biggest content creator in all of PvP. Go check him out. I'm sure most of you are already. And this time we're going to bait the Sparkling Aria. And the funny thing that I didn't realize until after this battle is these two were streaming together on Henry's channel. So I didn't realize that. I go for an Ice Beam. Henry maybe a little bit of a miscue here. Allowing me to throw another before. And then I catch because he was at 100 energy. So he basically had to throw. Otherwise, he'd go over 100. And we're off to a good start here. We catch the Earth Power. I do get debuffed this time. And now when I see the Tentacruel, I'm like, oh, is he running the same team? And when I asked if he was running the same team on my stream, I think that's when they said that they're streaming together. So I'm like, oh, he's probably running the same team. And here we go. Or maybe first I was like, did Homeslice... or is he running this team and is H. Shira copying his team? But I think it was actually the other way around. I think Henry was copying. Actually, I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, Tentacruel going to fire off an attack. I'm going to save the shield this time. I live the Sludge Wave, and we're going to commit to an aggressive farm down here. And this time, counting was actually on point a little bit more. So I'm able to get that full farm down. Belly Bolt comes in. Our attack is not debuffed this time, so we're going to do a little bit more damage to the Belly Bolt before going down. Go for the Ice Beam. If you can only throw one attack, Ice Beam does more damage, but Sparkling Aria is the more efficient attack. Belly Bolt farms us down, and we're in a pretty good spot here. I throw the wrong move for whatever reason. Should have thrown Leaf Blade here, but once again, Leaf Blade does slightly more damage. And just going to force Toedscruel to expend energy here. Save a shield for Drampa, the Grampa. Here we go, baby. I banked the Leaf Blade for later, figuring that Drampa can close this game out. Henry's going to throw something. I know even if it's an Earth Power, it's not going to knock me out. And if it's Wrap, I definitely don't want to shield the first and give him an opportunity to land one after the defense drop. Swift, coming through swiftly, knocks out Mr. Toedscruel. And we see the top left. So that was our first set. It wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. Oh no, maybe there I was figuring out if they were like, if someone made that team on the submission and they were both copying it, but no, they were just streaming together. So yeah, a quick, short and sweet video with Drampa the Grandpa, funny pick you don't really see in the Go Battle League that much. And yeah, good games there. Like I said, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. I think I only went like 13 and 12 on the day, so it was pretty 500, but we got off to a decent start there, and we had one more good set as well at the end of the stream with Caesar, but like the middle sets were actually kind of rough. So sometimes, yeah, I show you guys the teams that like are capable of doing well and do well for a given period of time, but the meta is always shifting, as we know in the Go Battle League. So this team started off really good for us, and then we started seeing some more problems, like Vizian lead is kind of tough, so we saw a bunch of those. And yeah, all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, comment down below. All your comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.